Hello, welcome to Friesen Holistic Wellness. I'm Laura Friesen, and I am an Anat Baniel Method Neuromovement practitioner. And together, my husband Kyle and I have Friesen Holistic Wellness. And so I just wanted to introduce you to myself and tell you a little bit about my story, my background, and how I became an ABM practitioner. So my background is actually in physiotherapy. I graduated from the University of Manitoba and became a physiotherapist. I worked as a physiotherapist for quite a few years, mostly in hospital settings, both inpatient, working with people who were staying in the hospital for various reasons, as well as outpatient, where people would come in from the community to come see me. And during that time, my husband and I, we have 4 kids. They're pretty much all teenagers at this point now. And so it was a busy time, working part-time as a physiotherapist, being mom. And on top of that, we decided to homeschool our kids. So we've had our kids with us on this journey through life for the past quite a few years. Unfortunately, back in 2012, I got sick. I had quite interesting symptoms. It was very neurological and it was very scary. I had no idea what was going on with me. It took quite a while for the doctors and a team, to figure out what was going on with me as my health kept on getting worse. And it got to the point where it was even hard for me to lift 1-pound weights and do my exercise program. So I had to stop exercising. It took everything in me just to go to work and come back home again, and didn't leave a lot of time for my family. I was so fatigued and also scared, wondering what on earth is going on with me. I had weakness, I had numbness, I had tingling, I had hot and cold sensitivities. And then on top of that, I had brain fog. So it was hard to put sentences together in my brain. And then when I finally put them together in my brain to have them come out and speak, I would lose track of what I was saying and couldn't finish my sentences. But together with my family doctor and my naturopath doctor, we discovered that it was Lyme disease. So I started on treatment. I went down to the United States to see a Lyme doctor down there and worked with my team up here. And through all of that, I decided to leave my physiotherapy career behind. It just took too much for me to be a mom to 4 kids, to be a wife to Kyle, and try and, recover my health. And it was just too much to work at the same time. Through that Lyme diagnosis and journey, we also discovered that Kyle also had chronic Lyme disease. And then our 2 boys were diagnosed with tick infections as well. And so now I was mom and caregiver to 4 of us, all struggling to work through these tick infections. Well, over time, over treatment, over years of trying different treatments, different modalities, my Lyme disease was getting better, but I was now introduced to the Anat Baniel Method, Neuromovement. And I thought, why not? I'm like, my Lyme disease had gone so neurological. I knew it had damaged my brain. It had damaged my nerves in my body. I was, probably about 75% better, but I still had a lot of fatigue. I still had some lingering symptoms. So I tried the ABM, and wow, just the help that it did for my fatigue was great. The awareness that my ABM practitioner, gave to me, that I realized that I was I had certain habits, I had certain movements that was just sucking a lot of my energy out of me and that weren't even necessary. So one of the things that I had the habit of doing was to clench my teeth really strongly when I was focusing, especially I noticed when chopping vegetables, like preparing supper. And if you think about it, do we cut vegetables any better by clenching our teeth and like using energy and, in this not useful, helpful way? And so after lessons, I noticed that I started having, not that I was having joint pain, but all of a sudden I could move easier. I was less fatigued. I wasn't wasting energy on, habits that weren't serving me in that moment. And and I just continued on my healing journey. And I said, you know what? I'm feeling better. I'm like, this is what I want to do. I want to use my physiotherapy background, and I still have this desire to help people. And I'm going to become an ABM practitioner. And I also did it to help my family. Kyle was still dealing with recovering from his chronic Lyme, and he found ABM really helpful for his pain that he had, his fatigue. And later on, we'll get him on a video too to, talk about his journey and how ABM has helped him. It has helped my kids too. And we'll post some videos about that too coming up, about how ABM helped our family in ADHD diagnosis and journeys. And so with all of that, I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And so I started my ABM training in the fall of 2019. COVID has delayed the official graduation, but we're hoping here for 2022 being the year to actually celebrate graduation. And then I can move on through the other mastery programs that ABM has to offer. And so I'm looking forward to taking my training to be able to work with kids and continue through other mastery programs as well. So that's a little bit about me. And that's how I found ABM. ABM helped me through my Lyme. It helped me through my recovery. Another way, just before we end, I will just also share how it's really helped me in resilience. So back in 2019, at the same time of starting my training, my family and I decided to buy a business in BC. We had been living in Manitoba, so we did a cross-country move across Canada, and we moved away from family. We started working in our new to us business that we had bought. And then, and I'm doing the training. And so there's a lot of stresses in learning a new to us business. There was just a lot of stresses with the move. But I really felt that my stress could be handled a lot better. I was a lot calmer in spirit. I could handle what was thrown at me a lot easier. For any of you who might have gone through Lyme, know that when stressed, Lyme amplifies that stress. So what may not be stressful to one person will feel like it's almost the end of the world to a person dealing with Lyme disease. And your body doesn't know how to deal with that stress. And you just feel so anxious and so, tight inside. And we went through the move. It was okay. Then the pandemic hit, adding extra stress. And that stress actually ended up flaring up my husband's Lyme disease. He relapsed again, and we decided that it wasn't actually going to work to keep the business that we had just bought. So we sold the business a year after buying it and moved back to Manitoba, all the way from BC. So in 12 months, 2 moves across the country, buying and selling the same business, and going through school. And I was shocked. I was shocked at how well my body held up. I actually managed to get off of my thyroid meds. I wasn't fatigued anymore. I could keep on going. I could do what needed to be done in the business world, in the moving world, in what my family needed. And I just looked back at it and said, how did that happen? And all I can say is it's ABM. My body, my brain, my nervous system had a resilience that I'm not sure that it ever had before. And it helped me through this. And so that's another way that ABM has changed my life for the better. So stay tuned. We're going to be putting out more videos talking about our journey, talking about ways you can incorporate ABM into your life, and just bringing you all sorts of information to help you with your health and healing journey. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later.